Hi everybody, welcome to Resident Evil 4 Remake, and in this video I want to show you how to get through the first challenge that we have in this game, which is this village that you come across. And it's important to know a few things before we get into this. Probably the most important one is to understand that this encounter with all of these villages, and there's loads of them, and there's a chain-wielding maniac as well, is all about teaching you that Resident Evil 4 is not like Resident Evil 2, it's not like Resident Evil 3, it's not like Code Veronica. This is now a action horror game rather than a survival horror game. So it's all about learning to move, to shoot, to fight, to be aggressive where you need to be, to learn to use melee and all this sort of stuff. And that's introducing this. The next thing you need to understand is that the aim of this encounter is not to kill all of the infected villagers or the guy with the chainsaw. It's simply to survive. Okay, you need to survive between about 2 to 4 minutes when the first alarm goes off, and then at the end of that time the church bell will start ringing and the villagers will wander off, and you will be safe to then explore this area to your heart's content. So you want to be familiar with a few things before you go in. First thing is your inventory. Be aware what first aid stuff you've got, and as you're running around you're going to be picking things up like different herbs. And remember, if you hit the inventory button, the game is paused now, so at this point you can then combine herbs and gunpowder with things to make more bullets, or with herbs you combine them together to make better healing things and use them. You also want to be familiar with, and I'm using a console controller here, just with using the D-pad to select different things, because although I've only got one stun grenade, that could well become very important if you get trapped, because this is all about not getting trapped. You also need to understand, obviously, the fact that what you want to be doing is you want to be going for headshots against the enemies, and then once you've got a headshot and you stagger the enemy, if you don't kill them, you need to follow up with a melee straight away. And on an Xbox controller, that is on the bottom button, which I think is A. So you're kind of going to shoot them in the head. You're going to bang, shoot in the head. You're going to get the little icon that appears above the head. You're going to go up to them and then you're going to melee them. Now that might not kill them, but it will definitely knock them down. What you may also get is you may see the sign for the right trigger, and this will work while your knife has still got durability with it, and that enables you to finish them off with the right trigger. Now your knife, however, only has limited durability. So if you look in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, you can see I've got what, 26 bullets. I've got 11 bullets, and my knife is slightly worn. So chances are, by the time you finish this encounter, your knife will not be working anymore. You also need to know the parry mechanic. So the parry mechanic is top left shoulder button. That when you've got your knife, and that will then enable you to parry. So if any of them start charging towards you with like a fork, or they throw an axe at you, or swing at you with a knife or something like that, or even with a chainsaw, when that chap comes out, you know, a fraction of a second before the thing hits you, hit the top left shoulder button, and hopefully you will then parry that. And the way you want to be doing it is, we want to be sort of running around the village. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here on the left hand side first, and we're going to kill a villager here because there's a green herb. And then what we're going to do is we're going to combine the green herb, I think, with a pink herb, and that's going to give us some healing items. And then what I do is I then back off, and then depending on what happens, I just start running around the village kind of anti-clockwise like this. Now in this building here excuse me, there is a cow that has a oil lamp above it. So if you get a few zombies in there, you can shoot that oil lamp, it will come down, it will set on fire, and that could well kill some of them. At some point the chain-wielding guy will come out, and he will smash his way in, and he'll start chasing you around as well. Now what he's done in a couple of my playthroughs is he's smashed down this area. So to start off with, I'm kind of running all the way around here. This area here, this is actually blocked, I think, here. And then this guy comes through and he smashes down a building which blocks off this area. So from that point on, you've got to kind of run around this area here. Now in here, to the sort of just beyond the tower, you can go in here, and there is a shotgun, and you can barricade the door. And that is another way of dealing with it, but I found the best way is just to run away with them, run around. Now as you're shooting zombies, you'll be picking up pesetas, and you might be picking up other things like handgun bullets, which comes in handy as well. And also, when you see the barrels with the yellow paint on, the box with the yellow paint on them, smash those and pick whatever's up in them. Remember, if you kill an enemy at distance and it looks a bit dangerous to go and get whatever they've dropped, just leave it and come back to it at the end, because at the end what will happen is the bell will go off, but after between 2 and 4 minutes the villagers will make their way into the church, and then you can explore and get all the goodies from this area in peace. Okay, there we go. So hopefully this has been useful, and what I'll do now is I'll do the run, and you can see what I do. So here we go. Also, another thing is that if you creep behind an enemy, you'll get the option, if your knife has still got durability in it, to do a stealth kill. Unfortunately, you can only really do that a couple of times before the villagers are on top of you, and that's it, they know where you are, so you've got to go loud if you like. But you'll see me do this hopefully in a minute against the villager that's up here.
Here we go. present for you. You're shitting me. Huh?
La campana. Hay que obedecerla.
Él nos invoca. Tenemos que servir. Al Lord Sadler Todopoderoso.
So there we go. Hopefully, let me just check. Did I get the button wrong? It's A. Yeah, I think A is the melee button after you've shot them in the head. And so now I can safely wander around this little village area, picking up everything I didn't find before, smashing open all the crates, opening up all the drawers, finding the shotgun in in the tower, and generally getting ready for the rest of the game. But this is probably one of the hardest sections of the game, because again, it is there, I think, as a real lesson to you to say, look, RE4, this isn't RE2 or RE3 or Code Veronica. This is something different. We've now taken Resident Evil to the action horror genre, and you're going to have to know how to use your gun to hit those headshots, to hit those melees, and to generally be aggressive with enemies and take them out in a way that you need to do so, because these enemies are intelligent. They use weapons, they throw them at you, they work together rather than the sort of shambling zombies that we had in Raccoon City in Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. Right, so there we go. Hopefully you found this useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.